Understanding EIPCA's federal legislative proposal, an article series brought to you by Election Integrity Project California. Part 2, the case for complete election transparency. Part 1 of this article series highlighted the lessons learned during EIPCA's 15-year journey in the fight for the restoration of election integrity in California, and presented a brief outline of EIPCA's new initiative. The purpose of this article series on EIPCA's federal election integrity legislative proposal is to help make clear exactly what we are asking of Congress, what each portion of the proposal means, and how and why it is necessary if citizens are ever again to have faith and trust in their election system. According to the U.S. Constitution, Congress has the authority to impose federal dictates that may override, change, or amend state election laws, or impose new federal laws for the purpose of fulfilling its mandate to ensure fair, honest, and secure elections of members of the U.S. House of Representatives, Senate, and President. Congress has asserted its right to do so several times in the 250-year history of the country. Prior to 1845, states were allowed to hold federal elections any time within a 34-day period before the first Wednesday in December. But it became clear to Congress that knowing the election results of states that held their elections earlier within that time frame could affect turnout and influence opinions in states that held later elections. Therefore, in that year, Congress legislatively established a single national election day, the first Tuesday following the first Monday in November, for federal elections. Congress has also passed several laws protecting citizens of all states from discriminatory practices that might impede fair access to participation in the electoral process. One example is the Voting Rights Act of 1965. In 1993, Congress passed the National Voter Registration Act, otherwise known as the Motor Voter Law, which increased access to voter registration across the nation and mandated, among other things, federal standards for maintaining state voter rolls. In 2002, Congress passed the Help America Vote Act that made sweeping changes in federal election requirements, such as establishing 1, mandates for provisional voting, 2, mandates for dissemination of voting information, 3, mandates for updated and upgrading voting equipment, 4, further requirements for statewide voter registration databases, 5, voter identification procedures, and 6, administrative complaint procedures. 15 years of EIPCA research and documentation proves that California and many other states have passed legislation that goes far afield from constitutional principles and, in fact, opens the door to widespread election manipulation. Another sweeping congressional action is essential if we are to keep this republic a government of, by, and for the people, rather than suffering a quiet transition to an oligarchy or worse of, by, and for a cabal of corrupt politicians, bureaucrats, and their corporate supporters. The elements of the EIPCA proposal are not listed in any order of priority, but rather randomly. EIPCA considers them all equally vital, all pieces of the same puzzle. This article series will discuss them in the order in which they appear under the heading Executive Summary of Proposal for Congressional Action Necessary to Preserve and Restore Election Integrity Across the Nation, found on pages 21 and 22 of the proposal, unless it is helpful to the full understanding to discuss 2 or more as a related unit. Proposal element number 1, Congress must mandate complete transparency of the election process. There is a crisis of public trust in this country, with a great majority now expressing at least some skepticism that election results are trustworthy. Election officials and the media continue to spew the mantra that, quote, Our elections are safer and more secure than ever before. There's nothing to see here. End of quote. But words alone do not dispel doubt. If there is nothing awry, why do so many people believe there is? Reasons are abundant, but high on the list is the severe lack of transparency. If there is nothing to see here, why keep observers at a distance? Ignore or deny Freedom of Information Act and open records requests. Fight any idea of audit. Fail to answer the simplest of questions. Refuse to look at any credible evidence. The fact is, it would be so simple to open the books and show the public what they want to see. If no anomalies are found, the public is reassured and controversy is squelched. If anomalies are found, immediate corrections can be made. And again, the public is reassured that the process works. EIPCA's proposal, therefore, calls for Congress to mandate nationwide: one, the right to meaningful observation by individuals and nonpartisan organizations, as well as partisan organizations. To be meaningful, observation must not only allow people to see that there is work happening, but to be close enough to see and hear for themselves that the work is being done correctly and lawfully. Two, the right to ask questions and receive immediate answers. Three, the right to challenge when proper procedures are not being followed. And four, the right of qualified organizations to obtain relevant statistics before and after elections. The mandate for complete transparency is a no-brainer. Elections officials are public servants. They work for we the people. And just as with any employer-employee relationship, we have the right and responsibility of oversight and quality control to ensure we are well served. All of the doubt, skepticism, mistrust, conspiracy theories, rancor, and more can vanish the instant the doors are open to the public and secrecy gives way to transparency. It is no wonder that a majority of the American population now believes that those who oppose such common sense mandates most likely have something to hide. EIPCA urges you to save each article in this series to a digital folder and reference each regularly, so you will have a growing understanding of how vital and non-severable each element of this proposal is to restoring and keeping the Republic. We also urge you to share this series with everyone you think will listen. Invite others to sign up to receive the EIPCA articles and alerts for themselves. By ourselves, we are but one voice, but together, we are the voice of citizens pressing Congress to do the job of restoring the Republic in every state through fair, honest, and transparent elections. America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and limitless determination to do the job at hand.